Toyota's president, Akio Toyoda, is set to testify in Capitol Hill this morning. Our next guest has been following all of the twists and turns in this recall saga as Bloomberg BusinessWeek's Detroit bureau chief, and we welcome David Welch. David, great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Now, I know that you've been writing several stories about this whole crisis at Toyota, the recalls. Akio Toyoda, what he says today, is any of that going to reverse the damage that we have seen so far at Toyota?
No, it's going to be really, really difficult, and I don't see it happening. When you're in an environment like this, and the company has been, pilloried in the press and by lawmakers already, and also based on what we saw yesterday, the best they can do is really kind of contain some of the damage. But there's really no home run they can hit or any way to kind of get out of this easily, unless they can unequivocally say that the fixes they've put in place are going to take care of these unintended acceleration problems once and for all, and they were really unable to firmly say that yesterday.
No, Jim Lentz was not able to say that firmly, and that was part of the problem.
Well, definitely. I mean, what he did say was that they haven't found any evidence saying that it's an electronic or a software issue, but they were sort of grilled for at the same time having have to admit that they were putting in a software fix in their cars. So it sort of leaves the door open, particularly for the lawsuits that are already filed going forward, that they're going to still have to defend against that, and their technical people can't rule that out. So as long as that possibility is kind of hanging open, it's going to be an ongoing problem for them.
David, I just looked at the numbers yesterday, and Toyota has, I think, gone from 17.2% of a market share down to 11 or 12%, and they seem to be slipping further behind. Did any sense of when they think they can stem this hemorrhaging?
Well, keep one thing in mind, that a lot of the market share loss comes from the fact that they had to ground a lot of their vehicles, and it's about, it comes to roughly, 60-65% of their volume for the models that they just simply couldn't sell until they put a fix in for those cars. And there's also some, they lost some showroom traffic because of this. The long-term damage, once they can start building and selling those vehicles again, and they're already selling some of them because they fixed some of the cars, but once that sort of works its way through the system, then we'll get a better look at what the long-term damage is to the brand. I think what's really going to happen here, it's going to be more subtle. We're going to see consumers, instead of looking at Toyota as the perfect company that makes the absolute most reliable, safest cars, as just sort of any other car company, and then they'll view Toyota models on a very even playing field with some of their direct competitors like Honda and Hyundai and Kia, and even the domestics like General Motors and Ford, some of their brands.
Yeah.